female entrepreneurship journey in Canada. And I have to say, I wasn't let down there because they were really making a huge attempt to ensure that female entrepreneurs excelled in their profession. So they would assess their business plans and would financially make it possible for us to start our businesses. So I started there, and then I came to India. When I came to India, again, I didn't really face too many issues because the profession that I am in did not have too many players at that point. And being an image consultant, taking care of, working in a space where we would be able to harness mental health in the workplace through corporate training and through soft skill development, really wasn't a field that was very prominent. This is, I'm talking about in 2002 and 2003. That's when I came back and started working here. So I wasn't really let down at all in those days. I do not think that the women in India have achieved financial independence. I would like to say that I do think that. I think a very few, very select amount of women have achieved independence financially, but financial independence will only come with mental liberation, and we are not liberated. We are not liberated mentally from our roles and our responsibilities as women. And because of this, because we're groomed in our entire life, we're groomed to educate ourselves. Or at least some families want to educate the girl child. So when they educate them in the main reason for a lot of people to educate their children is that they would be able to get better perspectives in terms of a better husband. And it is not about a better career. So I don't see parents really, coaching their children, their daughters, to say, what is the career you want? How are you going to build towards it? How are you going to take the next 50 years of your life building a career and making sure that you are on top of your field? No, I don't hear that. I don't hear that as, I don't hear that in any conversation, even amongst friends that I may have. Even the women that I know who have gone abroad and are working, there's a lot of pressure on them to perform as mothers, and being a mother is not really a simple task. I mean, you have to be hands-on for a long time. It's not a 5-year plan, it's a 25-year plan. And in those years, there is no such thing as a super mom. You have to give up one, or at least tone down on one to be able to focus on the other. As in coupledoms and in relationships together, you have one person who will always take the back seat, and the other who will always take the forward seat in the family. I don't think in India the men are evolved enough to say that they would want to be homemakers, while the woman goes out and achieves great success in their journey towards entrepreneurship. I don't see that. I don't see parents doing that. I don't see spouses doing that. I don't see that, and that's a limitation, because how do you expect to become a person who is on top of your playing field in the profession that you are, simultaneously being a good sort of homemaker and being able to juggle all these things? I don't see it. The only other reason I see that some women are successful is when they choose not to get into relationships, or they choose to have or they choose to be in relationships where they don't have children. And at that point, of course, you can kind of become a very serious entrepreneur. I think for me as well, when I was this is going into my personal story. But when I had my 3 children, I took a break. I actually sort of scaled down my operation and started working from the house so that I could take care of my children. The first one was a premature baby, so he needed a lot of attention. So these kind of things, the man doesn't have to juggle with. I don't think I would have expected my husband to say, it's a premature baby, let me sit at home and take care of him while you continue doing your work. I don't think we're at that stage where we can compare. I think there's definitely gender equity, but which is we all have our own roles and we are all trying to attain success in our own roles, but I don't think it is an equal to relationship yet. So one of the things that comes to mind with this question is that coming from a family that has been in the sort of corporate world for 300 years, the name attached to my name always made it seem like I was doing a hobby, like what Prakriti Poddar has, a Poddar Foundation. She's probably doing a hobby because her family has been a business family for so many years. And I found that really was a hurdle for me. People had to understand my intention. People had to understand, it took a while for them to actually recognize that I'm not doing this as a hobby. This is my passion, and this is what I do. This is what I live for. This is what I breathe for. This is what I live for. So it took a really long time for people to kind of understand that it wasn't just handed down to me. I mean, Mind Over Image is the company that I started with, again, in mental health. Focused on that company, then tried to build other companies as well as an advisor or a consultant with them, and then focused on my own practices and doing the training and development, doing the private practices, and then joining the foundation that we already had, but really repurposing it to focus on what I wanted to. But it was, every time I go to people and I'm as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's running a foundation as well, we need to go to people and say, can you please give us some funds for the kind of work that we're doing, because the work is large and the funds are large as well. And obviously 2% of CSR, which my family has, is not going to support the kind of work that we do. But the moment I go anywhere else, as a woman entrepreneur, they look at me and they say, why don't you send the person who's in charge? Or sometimes I even hear, why do you need our money? And these things really, really get to me, because it's difficult then to reach out to the amount of people that you can reach out to with the kind of work that you have. And the need is high for mental health awareness, and the capability is there. And these are my hurdles, which I'm sharing. I have suggestions for the girls and the parents. For the girls, when you get into your whole education system and you get interested in something, you stick with it and you learn that this is not something that is a stopgap arrangement till you get married, but it is your journey in life, it is your purpose, and you find that purpose. And that purpose can be of great magnitude, where you're really giving back to society. And of course, if that purpose is having children and raising really good and strong together families, then that's also great. But being independent financially is one of the key measurements to your own confidence, your internal measurement. And I think it's very important for you to recognize that and to work towards it. I know that one of the things my father told me when I was growing up was, don't get married until you're financially independent. And it really did hold me in good stead. And I was working from a really young age, and I enjoyed working. I never thought of it as something that I would do if I needed to. It was just the way I was raised. And I hope that all the parents out there understand that to raise their boys in the same way they raise their girls, in the sense that they both are programmed to be successful in their careers. I think that's a very important part of your responsibility towards your daughters, and daughters, that's your responsibility towards India. I think it's important that you remember that.